the FCC and the FTC have been important partners together, both in protecting consumers, but also in thinking about how we continue to protect people in our increasingly digital economy and hyper-connected age. So my biggest hope really is that the FCC and FTC can continue to work together. And I know that Mignon and I share that goal very strongly. Personally, as an FTC commissioner, one of the things that I remain very focused on in this environment is making sure that as a new administration talks a lot about being against regulation, that doesn't translate to being against consumer protection enforcement and antitrust enforcement. The FTC is primarily an enforcement agency, not a regulator. We do a job that I think most people in America actually really value, which is more or less, you could think of it conceptually as standing up for the little guy, especially if the system is rigged against them. It's sort of consumer protection 101. So one of the things I'm going to be very focused on is making sure that we remain an independent, bipartisan agency, as we have been for more than 100 years, committed to strong antitrust law enforcement, making sure that our antitrust laws are applied equally to all, and not allowing those to become tools that are used to protect incumbents or protecting competitors, because those laws are designed to protect competition, not individual interests, and consumers ultimately who benefit from that competition. And I'm going to remain really focused on our core consumer protection mission, protecting consumers in the marketplace from frauds and scams, making sure that when they are authorizing payments, they understand what those payments are for, helping them when they are in situations where they have the wrong information, and making sure that they can get the right information, and focusing on consumer data security and privacy. As we think about IoT and all the wonderful innovations that are flowing from it, we really can recognize the central importance of consumer trust in this environment. And trust is not possible without security. It's not possible without privacy. So I think the FTC has a really important mission when it comes to protecting consumers in this environment. It's a mission, though, that we share with the FCC. So I think it's really timely that we have this conversation and really think about the ways in which our missions are combined to help consumers.
Thank you, Commissioner McSweeny. And for those of you that also need to know, we are Facebook Living this event as well as doing full digital video if people are not here.
And I guess I should add that obviously I'm speaking my own beliefs today, and I'm not speaking on behalf of the Federal Trade Commission or my colleagues on the Commission.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Commissioner Clyburn.
And
what about
Dr.
you?
Nicole Turnerly, I would like to also thank you and Brookings for allowing this conversation to take place. And of course, my good friend, Commissioner McSweeny, who from day one has been a supportive partner in our mission to connect the unconnected. And so when I think about my last almost 8 years at the FCC, I will say that in the months that are to follow, that my mantra and focus will not change. It is about putting communities first. It is about connecting the unconnected. It is about fully embracing our universal service principles, because I think when you look at the program and what our mission, it almost says it all. It is a recognition that all individuals and all communities, if they are can afford to be connected, if they have access to advanced services and opportunities, then they will have the capacity or the ability or the tools needed to not only survive, but to thrive. And so just looking at some of our universal service programs, it kind of explains it all. When you talk about, the Lifeline program, which we have reformed, we will continue to improve that program, make it, more comprehensive and competitive, because as of December 2nd, that program was opened up not just for voice-only service or bridging the affordability gap in terms of voice-only, but for broadband. And we know how enabling and empowering broadband is. And so if we recognize that there's still millions of people in this country that do not have access, who have been stuck in the digital darkness for decades, who are on the wrong side of the opportunities divide, then, for me, the answer is simple going forward. How do we ensure that we have affordable connections? And how do we make sure that our communities have the infrastructure needed to provide that? When you talk to a lot of companies that are providing these essential services, they say one of the biggest bottlenecks that they have at the state and local communities, that they're citing issues, that there are issues in terms of pole attachments and affordability. And if we have these persistent disconnects in our communities about providing not only affordable service, but affordable means to provide that service, then we're going to have disconnects going forward. So I think for me, it is really being laser focused on the types of things that we organically do, getting rid of, and I think we should be unapologetic about getting rid of those barriers to affordable service, and that includes inmate calling, just and reasonable rates for those who are currently incarcerated. That includes inclusion when it comes to media ownership and opportunities. So all of these things are important, and if we again remain focused on really targeting and bridging gaps and eliminating barriers to robust participation, then I think we'll have a series of good stories to tell at the end of this term.